Welcome to Pre-mortems. In this little slideshow, you will learn a fast and easy way to discover all the risks to your business and its content strategy using a pre-mortem workshop. It's properly set up as a workshop, but you can do it on your own. A pre-mortem has a cool name, but taken literally, it's what you do before you die. So, examination of a situation before death occurs, because we ask what are all of the worst possible things that could go wrong. You'll notice that it's a pre-mortem, so you want to do this before bad things happen, as opposed to a post-mortem in which you would pick apart what happened after a negative situation. The question that you want to ask in your workshop, or rather the question you want to answer, is what are all of the possible ways that this could go wrong? It's a really good thing to get into the habit of doing this with any project that you're involved in. What are all of the possible ways that this could go wrong? Even if you only take 5 minutes at a project level, like a personal project level, to do this, what you'll find is it'll surface a lot of the things that you can then plan to avoid. So that's the one question. The rule with a pre-mortem is that they're designed to allow imagination. You're not interested in whether something is probable or not. You're only interested in possibility. This means that even if someone proposes in your workshop something that is wild and sounds ridiculous and makes people laugh, it's still allowed. And it's allowed because if someone can think about it, then it's possible. So if you can think of it, make sure that you include it, and you can assess probability later on. What you're interested in now is getting all of the ideas onto the table. You need to brainstorm with your group for as long as necessary. People sometimes ask how long is, a good amount of time to do this. Well, the answer to that is it depends. It depends on the complexity of the project, and it depends on the complexity of the business, and it depends on a number of other factors, from the interested parties to the number of markets that you're in. Realistically, if you have a highly complex business or a highly complex project, you could set aside a day. It's really unlikely that you would be able to keep up your energy doing this for a whole day. But as I say to people, better off having the surprise of time than the surprise of not time enough. So the real answer to this question is do it until you're sitting around looking at each other and your brains are exhausted. The flow of ideas starts really fast and it will ebb and flow and it tails off. And it's when you get into the tailing off point where you could nearly call an end to the session. When you run your session, make sure you write down every scenario that comes up. Make sure not to miss anything. You need to designate someone to write them all down. You could choose to do that on your risk canvas. It might be a good place to do that. But at this stage, it might be better to put them all on a whiteboard and then write them into your canvas afterwards. It allows you to do some faster, more visible thinking, especially if you don't have a giant version of the canvas that you have laminated and stuck on the wall, for example. You can practice this right now. So you can stop the video, write down all the possible things that could go wrong in scheduling and running a pre-mortem session. Really good practice. Stop it now and do this exercise. When you've done that, look at all of the items that you've got together. If at the end of your session, when you have everything written down, you need to consider all of your scenarios. So make sure you schedule in time to think about them afterwards. You want to think, what is a contributing factor to this scenario? What are the things to make that scenario happen? and what are all the things that could happen as a result of that scenario. Do that for every scenario that you have. And when you have, you'll find that you have many more risks or opportunities for improvement, potentially, as a result. That's why we tend to leave the risk canvas documenting till this point. When you start considering each of the scenarios, you will find more things to add to your canvas, and you will also find that they are added in different places to your canvas. Once you've done it in your organization, circulate it for comments together with the scenarios, and see if any more items are added or some are taken away or changed. It's a really important thing to gain agreement from everyone involved at this point, because if you can't agree on things, then if a risk were to eventuate, you will also find yourself in trouble because your team can't agree on a way forward, and that is itself a risk. Food for thought. Now that you know what all the risks are, you know what's possible to go wrong in your project or your strategy, and that is the end of the process for a pre-mortem. That's actually the finite piece. It's quite small, and it's good fun because you'll find yourself having all sorts of interesting conversations. The reason that we do it is because at the next stage in risk register and triage, you learn and start to understand what to do with the risks, but you can't do that until you actually know what you're working with. So for now, at least you understand what is in front of you. Thanks for watching. These are our contact details. Brutal Pixie is a content strategy company based in Australia. We are on a mission to improve the communication and connection of 50 law firms by 2020, but if you're not in law, that's okay. We will still work with you. We do partner with design and web agencies too, because we do all sorts of interesting things, so give us a bell. Thanks for watching.